Hello, welcome back to our video series on linear control system. So this is the second video. In last video, we were discussing about the beauty of a control system that may exist in everywhere. It may be a natural process. It may be something related to electrical equipments like control of a fan or control of AC. And also we point out something, a beautiful control system existing in our body, and we pointed out a lot of examples regarding that. Today we are coming into more details of open loop and closed loop control system. In last class, we classified control systems into three broad categories: linear, time varying, linear time invariant, time variant and time invariant, linear and non-linear. And also there was a classification like SISO and MIMO, single input, single output, and multi-input, multiple output. And also we defined causal systems and non-causal systems. And broadly we understood that in control system, in this topic, in this subject, we are specifically dealing about linear, time invariant, single input, single output, causal systems. That is the classification we are dealing on the majority of cases. Now, today we are going into the depth of open loop and closed loop control system. It is also another classification based on the feedback and correction measures of control systems. So last class we briefly discussed about the open loop and closed loop control system. In open loop control system, there is no measures are taken for correcting the output. If we want to correct the output, we have to take a feedback from the output and we have to feed it into the input. So if there is a change in output, that change will also reflect in the input also. So that was the points, and of course, such a closed loop system is more expensive and more complicated, but still, its output stability and its tolerance to disturbance are very high. So we chose closed loop control system in many of the cases. So now we are coming to the last discussion in our previous class. It was about the speed governor example of a turbine. And in that, we saw that a system is there, a controller is there, and we are sensing the speed of the turbine in every moment. If the speed is decreasing, we are comparing that with a input reference. Or if the input reference is actually some set value that corresponding to the expected output. If as an example, if 1500 is the output you want to get, then we have to give input reference as 1500, because whenever the output is 1500 rpm, the feedback is also given to the input as 1500. So input reference and feedback signals are exactly same. So you can see that input reference is given to plus sign and the feedback is given to negative sign. I think you can see it. I am talking about this block. Here input reference is given to plus and the feedback is given to a negative sign. What does it mean? So it's error. Whenever the output is exactly equal to the set input reference, the difference between the input reference and feedback signal will be a zero value. So error will be zero. What is error? Input reference minus the feedback input. So if the output is exactly same as the what we are expecting or the set value, then the error between that set output and input reference will be zero. In that case, the controller doesn't have to do much for stabilizing the system. But whenever the output speed is some value other than the 1500, it may greater than 1500 or less than 500, 1500. At that case, what happened? There is a difference between input reference and the output feedback. That difference is error signal, and that error signal makes the controller to bring the plant again to the set speed. So there are many examples. There are many input mechanisms are there for controlling the plant. In our example, in the example of speed governor, I said that there is a physical mechanism which is moving towards and away in the inlet opening in order to reduce and increase the water coming out from the inlet opening. And it may not be such a system, such a physical system. It may be an electronic system. It may be a program. It may be there is a lot of ways in order to control a plant. So we will discuss those things in the coming lectures. Now I think you may get a brief idea about the closed loop control system. And it is not everything I have explained about it because there is two things. One is positive feedback and other one is negative feedback. At this point of time, I would like to say only one thing. In this block diagram, we are using a negative feedback. I think it is a good hint for you to think what is a negative feedback. It is there itself in the figure. You can tell, okay, anyway I will explain this in the upcoming slides. Okay, now I am on the same figure. I am marking two things. That is from the input side to the output side, we are getting a positive direction. Arrow marks are given. That is, the input is traveling through the controller through the system to the output. This path is marked as forward path. In the figure, I am as there is a size limitation in the space, I have written as FWP, that is forward path. And there is another path, that is a feedback path from the output towards the input. That is, the direction of the feedback path is just opposite to that of forward path. So in the same figure, I have marked the forward path and a feedback path. We have to use this thing in the upcoming portions. Okay. Now I am defining some of the things that we seen in the last block diagram. The first thing is plant. In that case, the plant is a turbine. In the previous example, it was a ceiling fan, or we also consider the example of a AC, air conditioner. So plant may be anything, any device. So what is the definition of plant? It is the portion of system which is to be controlled or regulated. That is the definition of plant. Plant is nothing but it is a small portion of the entire system which is to be controlled or regulated. For example, in the case of a ceiling fan, what is the plant? In the class last class also I explained that plant is nothing but the leaf or the wires of the fan. Plant is simply the motor of the fan. That motor is receiving electrical input and it is giving rotational output. So in that case, simply we can tell the plant is a electrical motor. That is, we are trying to control the plant electric motor using a regulator, using a switch, or we can also think about some closed loop control also in the example of fan also. So that was a simple example for a plant. Next, controller. Controller, in the last case, in that example of turbine, I told you that controller is nothing but it may be a part of the physical system, or it may be something else we developed to control the plant. It may be something electronic program. It may be some other things. As you are the beginners in the control system field, I don't think it will be suitable if I am explaining the example of a power electronic drive and all. Anyhow, controller is something we made to control the plant. That is the simple point that I want to explain now. So we can see the definition. It is the element of the system itself or maybe external to the system. That point I have already explained. The controller may be a physical thing that include within the plant, or it may be an external thing we are adding to the plant for controlling that. But the main thing, it controls the plant or process. Okay, it controls the plant or process. Next thing, feedback. This is the definition of feedback we already done in the last class also. It is the process of measuring the output which is required to regulate the system. In case of fan, we have to check the output speed, whether the RPM is the RPM set is or maintained or not. In case of air conditioner, we have to check that whether the output the room temperature is equal to the set input temperature of the air conditioner or not. In such case, we have to measure the output by using some technique. If in case of a fan or motor, we have to check the speed. For checking the speed, we have a simple apparatus, that is a tachometer. So a tachometer can sense the speed and convert that data to a input signal, and that can be fed back to the input. Okay, so that is the importance of feedback. And now reference input. Reference input is I think it is already there in this figure. This is the reference input, that is we are giving to the plus signal of the summer box, to the plus port or summing port of the summer. There is also a difference port is there. So care must be taken while giving the reference input. Reference input should be always given to the positive marked terminal. So what is reference input? In the example, I told you that if we want to make the fan speed 1500 rpm, the reference speed should be also a signal corresponding to the 1500 rpm. It may be electrical signal also. We have to convert that 1500 rpm into some digital techniques, some into digital format, and we have to give a reference input. But that input should carry the information about the set speed 1500 rpm. So it is that thing. So reference input, we can see the definition. Input supplied in terms of reference value or set point for the system output. That is, in case of a control system or plant, the output, we should have a aim that we have to keep the output in a set value. In case of an air conditioner, in the first class we already explained that while turning on an air conditioner, we want 18 temperature, 18 degrees Celsius. So we will give 18 degrees Celsius. Actually, what is that 18 degrees Celsius? It is a reference input. We want to make the air conditioner's output to the 18 degree Celsius temperature condition. So we are giving it as a reference input, and the air conditioner is continuously checking whether the output or the room temperature is 18 degree or not. If it is not 18 degree, the air conditioner is pumping more and more cooled air into the room. So that is the scenario. Now we can see I have drawn a small portion of the system. That was also already there in the previous case also. Okay, it was already there in the previous figure also. So a small portion is highlighted, and in that one we can see the reference input and the feedback. So here in the last slide I left one point, that is what is positive feedback and what is negative feedback. Here comes the answer. You can see that a feedback signal is given to a portal where I have given two options, plus or minus. In the last example, we applied the feedback signal to a negative or difference portal, and I told you that in that case we are using a negative feedback. So it is clear that if the feedback signal is given to a difference marker or negative portal, then it is negative feedback. Or if we are adding or we are summing the feedback to the reference input, that is a positive feedback case. Generally, generally in almost 99% or in the cases where we are considering in the subject also, we are highly using negative feedback. There are a lot of reasons why we are using negative feedback and all. That is not that much important based on your syllabus requirements. That's why I am not going to that portion. So this is the thing. There is two type feedback. One is positive feedback and other one is negative feedback. So I am I am adding or subtracting the feedback signal with the reference input signal. Okay. Now we have to just consider negative feedback system. So reference input is given to positive terminal and the feedback signal is given to negative terminal. So the difference of reference input and the feedback will be taken as error. That is, if reference input is set for 1500 rpm rotation or output speed, reference input is 1500, and at present the fan is giving a 1400 rpm, then what will be the error signal? Error is here. I am marked here in a red blue color. Error. What will be the error? Error will be 1500 minus the feedback signal 1400. So error will be 100 rpm. So this error signal is given to the controller. So the controller will receive this signal and it will do some of its functionalities to bring the motor speed back to 1500 rpm. Generally, we deal with negative feedback. Okay. If reference input is equal to feedback, then what happened? We know that there is no disturbance in the output. We desire a speed of 1500 rpm and we are getting the same speed. So the feedback signal and reference input are equal. So error will be 0. At that case, no correction action is required. There is something is missing due to the watermark added by tap scanner. Sorry. So no corrective action is required by the controller. No corrective action is required by the controller. So, okay. Now, we are coming to another area. Actually, these portions are having a bit of requires a bit of good degree of understanding, and you have to be very good with your basics in engineering mathematics like differential equations, Laplace transform. Such things are highly needed in this topic. So from here onwards, we are starting something related to mathematical modeling. Okay. Okay. So U of t. What is U of t? U of t is nothing but the input we are giving in time domain, and I have marked a system, and the output is y of t. That is also in time domain. But there are something like in mathematics. I think everybody knows that if we are trying to solve the entire thing in time domain, there is some difficulties we have to face. In the next slide, I will explain what are the difficulties and why it came. Generally, you have to understand that for finding the system response, and actually if I am giving a fan, I know that we are giving electrical input and we are obtaining an electrical output. But what is the system? Everybody know that it is an electrical motor. But if I am telling it is simply an electrical motor, I can model it. Modeling means we have to bring the electrical motor into mathematical equations. So that mathematical equation should be obtained in terms of its output and input, because what the electric fan is doing, it is mapping some electrical input to a mechanical input. So it is doing a mapping, it is doing a transformation. So what is the transformation? That we have to find using the output and input. So don't be that much confused. The system is something we have to recreate the system with mathematical equation. Then only we can design the controller and everything. So from this point onwards, you have to think as you are a control engineer. If you are starting to design that fan, you should know what are the mathematics inside that fan. Then only you can design a controller for that fan. So in this aspect of understanding or for the mathematical modeling, generally by modeling such mechanical systems, we will get some complicated, not that much complicated, but we will generally get ordinary differential equation with some constant coefficient. Ordinary differential equation you may get, and finding the solution of all these differential equation to identify the plant is somewhat difficult. In that case, we are converting the entire system to another domain that is somewhat easier for calculation and analysis. That domain is known as frequency domain or complex domain. So this is the one and only thing. It is not that much easier to convert a system or identify a system in time domain. So we have to do the mathematical modeling, but at last we will get some differential equation. That differential equation should be converted to another domain known as frequency domain or complex domain in order to find the exact response of the system. So from here onwards we are defining some more terms like transfer function and all. So the reason you have to remember the reason, because the frequency domain or complex domain is much easier for doing the analysis and calculations. So this is another question. How to convert from time domain to frequency domain? Here is the thing. We have to use Laplace transform. Some of you may think in the first year classes, why we are studying this Laplace Fourier, everything in mathematics, it is so boring, it is not needed anywhere. But if you are an engineering graduate, especially if you want to be an electrical engineer, the basic mathematics understanding like in the field of Laplace differential equation, Fourier, such things are very important. If you are not that much good in these topics, definitely you have to suffer a lot. So you have to develop your basic mathematical skills in this engineering mathematical aspect. So Laplace transform is the tool we are using to convert from time domain to frequency domain. I think everybody of you may know something about Laplace transform because you studied it in the last semester. Okay. And now so it is very difficult to understand the model in time domain. So you are converting into frequency domain and you are extracting the things you want in that, and after that finally you are obtaining what is the exact mathematical equation of the fan. You are obtaining it. So at that point you have to convert it back to time domain. For that you can use inverse Laplace transform. Inverse Laplace transform converts from frequency domain to time domain. That is also possible. Okay. So this is the thing I have already explained. Mainly we are dealing with linear time invariant isosystems. The control system we are mainly dealing in this semester is linear time invariant isosystems. In all cases, if you are trying to represent the system mathematically, such a linear time invariant system will always give ordinary differential equation with constant coefficients. you don't need to be that much confused about these things, because we will take some example how to model a mechanical system, how to convert it to mathematical equations, and how we can take the Laplace of that ordinary differential equation, and then you can find out the transfer function. Such things we will do in examples in the coming classes. So don't be that much tensed or confused in these new things. So this is the basic things you have to be aware about at the point of time. So mathematically, such ordinary differential equations can be represented in two forms. I already told you that they are somewhat complicated, so we have to convert it to another form, or we have to represent, because um, if you are trying to model that fan, you are getting a differential equation. So does it make any sense by keeping a differential equation with you? You can't do any standard procedure with such a differential equation. So you have to convert it to some other form. In that form, you may have some basic knowledge. So you can compare whether it is stable or not. Such things you can perform. So for that, we have to convert that to two branches are shown. In the first branch, it is a transfer function representation. That is, you can convert that differential equation to a new representation known as transfer function representation. In transfer function representation, that means we have to use Laplace transform, and we have to convert it to frequency domain, and then in frequency domain we have to rearrange something, and we have to convert it to a particular form. That form is known as transfer function. So what is transfer function? It is coming in the next slide. We will discuss in detail. And there is one more option, that is not in frequency domain. We have to keep it in time domain itself, but not in the form of a differential equation. That is something else. That is also there in the syllabus. We will see in the last topics. So that is state space representation. That is also in time domain. So this is the thing. While modeling a control system or a system, linear time invariant systems normally gives ordinary differential equations. And these differential equations are somewhat difficult to process and analysis. For what, we have to convert it to some other forms. One form of representation is transfer function. The transfer function, for representing the equation in transfer function, at first we have to convert that from time domain to frequency domain. Okay. In the first class, I already explained what is time domain, dynamic things, all these things are explained. So now I am trying to convert from time domain to frequency domain. U of t is the input is a function of time, that is time domain. That should be converted to another domain. That name is given as u of s. Oh, how it can be converted, what is the Laplace transform, such things we will discuss after 1 or 2 class. Now you just be aware about the name change. U of t is converted to u of s. Now it is, how you can convert, you have to take Laplace transform. What is Laplace transform and such things we will, I will give a 1 hour lecture for the very important brush up reminders in mathematics, like ordinary differential equation and Laplace inverse, Laplace transform. Such things we will discuss in another class, no issues. So now you have to remember that you are converting u of t to u of s by taking Laplace transform, and y of t should be converted to y of s, that is also by taking Laplace transform. Now you have input in S domain. S domain means frequency domain or complex domain, and output in that domain. Now it is the time to define transfer function. What is transfer function? Transfer function is Laplace transform of output divided by Laplace transform of input. There is one condition that is also written there, where initial condition is equal to 0. I am again extremely sorry, that important thing is missing, that is covered by the watermark of tab scanner. If that is missing, no one will give you marks. It is that much important. Initial condition should be equal to 0. Initial condition is equal to 0. So what is Laplace transform? It is ratio of output. Sorry, what is transfer function? It is ratio of y of s to u of s. What is y of s? Laplace transform of output. What is u of s? Laplace transform of input. What is the provided condition? Provided that initial condition should be 0. So, okay, what is the initial that particular condition? Initial condition should be 0. That is the something we have to learn. That also we will discuss while designing a control system. While doing the mathematical modeling, I will also explain what is the initial condition, how we can ensure that it is 0. Such things also we will discuss. Now it is open loop transfer function. So input is u of s, output is y of s. And what is g of s? In the last class we discussed about open loop control system. In open loop control system, what are the things? We are giving an input to a controller, and the controller input will be given to a plant, and that is the plant will give output. No feedback is provided, just like a simple fan. Controller is a regulator, plant is a motor, and the fan will rotate. No feedback is taken. So now in frequency domain, input is u of s, output is y of s, and we are giving a single box known as g of s. What is g of s? It is the representation of both plant and controller. G of s is not only plant or not only controller, it is the representation of both plant and controller. So I can write we already discussed about these things in the first class. That is, input into some mapping is giving output. So input into g of s is giving output y of s. So u of s into g of s is equal to y of s. That is the thing we need to understand. So y of s by u of s is equal to g of s. Output by input. Input is mapping to output. Who is mapping? The g of s is the function that mapping. For example, it cannot be analyzed by a simple numerical example. It is a function. That function into input will map it to another function out that is y of s. So we can simply say that u of s into some function g of s will give y of s. So y of s by u of s is nothing but that is the entire mapping function, that is g of s. Now we can say that what is the definition of transfer function? It is Laplace transform of output by Laplace transform of input, that is nothing but y of s by u of s. In this case, transfer function is equal to y of s by u of s, that is equal to g of s. So this is the open loop transfer function. So open loop transfer function, in open loop transfer function, what are the things inside that? Inside that there is effect of controller and plant. Okay. Now closed loop transfer function. It is nothing but we are adding another feedback path into the previous case of open loop control system. So now it is a closed loop control system. Here I am marking plus and minus. Plus and minus is given, that is plus, if it is plus, it will be a positive feedback system, and if it is minus, it will be a negative feedback system. And what is g of s? In the last case I explained that g of s is the transfer function of forward path, or nothing but it is the effect of both plant and controller. What are the things in forward path? In forward path we will see a controller and a plant. In reverse path we will see some dynamics that is representing the feedback. So that is given by h of s. H of s is the transfer function of feedback path. Then we have to mix this entire things, g of s and h of s. So no need to go for a derivation and all. You have to learn it by heart. y of s by u of s is equal to g of s divided by 1 plus g of s h of s. There is some derivation and all, but it is not that much needed. So we have to learn it by mind, by heart. Y of s by u of s is equal to g of s by 1 plus g of s h of s. Plus for negative feedback, minus for positive feedback. Here, care should be taken that plus is given for negative feedback. In the last case, while considering the summer block, in case of negative feedback, we are giving feedback to negative sign. But in the equation, if plus you are seeing, then you have to understand it is a transfer function of negative feedback system. So I already told that generally we are using negative feedback system. So generally the transfer function will g of s by 1 plus g of s h of s. Okay. Okay, now one more thing is there, unity feedback and non-unity feedback. If we are commenting about unity feedback system, then we have to take h of s is equal to 1, that the gain of the feedback path is 1. In that case, the transfer function will be modified as y of s by u of s is equal to g of s by 1 plus g of s. So this much things you should be very clean and thorough about the concept of open loop and closed loop transfer function and all. And I know definitely there will be a lot of things missing, how we can write the differential equation, how we can convert that into a frequency domain, what is frequency domain, where it exists, what is time domain, what is the relation between time domain and frequency domain. Actually, there is a lot of ideas or concepts behind the subject. Generally, it will be missing in normal textbooks and all. People are just writing the transfer function, and they will draw something like Poisson plot, root locus, and we will get the mark also. But finally, no one will know why we have to draw such root locus, what is the need, what is stability, because that much understanding is required for this subject. It is not an easy subject. So from the first class itself, you have to build the basics, and one point you should remain that you should be very clean with your Laplace transform, inverse Laplace transform, and also differential equation, its solutions, all those things, unless it will be somewhat difficult for understanding. Okay, so thank you all. We can see in the next class. Thank you.